we're going to move along to our 7th battle of this week. As you can see, it's the Marea City Valiants and the Fakechus. We're going to introduce the Marea City Valiants, led by Nevermore, who is in chat. Hello, Nevermore. Playing for Rota Hilfe, currently in 3rd place at 5-1. We see the mega of this team being the Mega Charizard Y at 7-3. Unfortunately, I will not be able to have a Charizard battle. For OU, we have the Iron Valiant, which is leading. I would say leading just in stats in general because it has less feints. Is at 12-2, with the King Gambit at 0-1. For UU, we have the Toxapex at 6-2 and the Greninja at 1-1. For RU, we have the Shedinja at 0-0, the Amoonguss at 2-1, and the Mousehold at 3-1. For NU, we have the Ninjask at 0-0, the Incineroar at 0-0 as well, with the Bramblegast at 1-1. I don't think Incineroar has been brought yet. It might have been. I don't know. For PU, we have the Weezing, Minior, and Lurantis each at 0-1, and the Absol at 0-0. And their opponents for this week
are the Fakechus, repping Higher Hope Foundation. Their Mega is a Heracross with 5-3. In the OU, they have Garganackle and Dragonite, each with 0-1. In the UU, they have Clodsire and Azumarill with 3-5 and 0-1. In RU, they have Mimikyu with 2-3, Surfetched with 1-2, and Vaporeon with 0-1. In OU, they have Scyther with 1-1, Rhyperior with 2-1, Copperaja with 0-1. And lastly in PU, they have Dusk Noir with 0-2, Abomasnow with 0-1, Lantern with 0-0, and Zebstrika with 3-2.
It is newly traded from me.
Newly traded, so yeah, they haven't been used yet.
Why is this not loading? Hello? Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, chat, we're set up. I picked the 2 charities for the shout outs for charity showcase. We're gonna go to the starting lineups of these 2 teams. Marea City Valiants. I am terrified of this team already. Holy heck. We have the Toxapex, the Incineroar, the Amoonguss, Iron Valiant, Mega Charizard Y, and King Gambit. This is like such a meta doubles team. Being played in singles is also terrifying. For the Fakechus, we have the Mega Heracross, the Garganackle, the Surfetched, the newly traded Lantern making its first appearance, the Scyther, and the Zebstrika. Let's just hop right into it and begin our 7th battle. The Marea City Valiants are going to lead with the King Gambit, and the Salt Lake Garganackle is going to be led from the Fakechus. The immediate self-rock being set up by the King Gambit, but the Earthquake is going to be used, getting a critical hit and doing a lot of damage. You switch into the Toxapex, ticking away with the Fire Punch, being a resisted hit, doing a little bit of damage to the Toxapex. The Earthquake is going to do a little bit more, bring it to about half its HP with the Toxic then. Oh, but it doesn't get hit by the Toxic though. You switch from the Toxapex into the Charizard to predict the Earthquake. Good prediction from the Valiants. The immediate Mega Evolution and the Solar Beam doing a lot of damage, but not quite taking down the Garganackle, with a Stone Edge taking down the Charizard. Garganackle living on a prayer, chat. King Gambit's gonna come back in. With the switch into Chickpea, the Surfetched, with a Sucker Punch failing because of obviously the switch, and the switch into the Toxapex with a close combat being resisted, but still getting a critical hit and doing a lot of damage to Toxapex. There's been a lot of crits from the Fakechus. They switch into Heracross, and they switch into Amoonguss. Sus. Sorry. They switch again into the Incineroar, getting the Intimidate drop, and with the Mega Evolution coming through from the Heracross, going for the lunge and lowering the attack of the Incineroar. You switch back into Chickpea. But the Will-O-Wisp is going to connect and burn the Surfetched to half its attack. And he switched back into Toxapex with a close combat, another resisted, but another critical hit. Oh my goodness. Surfetched, I wonder why it's getting so many crits. I wonder. The Leaf Blade is going to be good in another crit and do some damage, do some chip damage, with the Iron Defense boosting the defense of the Toxapex. A knockoff, though, is going to knock off the Covert Cloak. What's a Covert Cloak? Anyway, Recover's going to bring Toxapex back to almost full HP with the switch from Surfex into the Zebstrika. And the Iron Defense is going to bring it up to 3 times its defense. The Hidden Power is going to be a super effective hit, doing a little bit of chip damage to the Toxapex, but bring it back. But the Iron Defense is going to bring it to, oh my gosh, yeah, I can't speak. 4 times defense now for Toxapex, with the Toxic being used by the Toxapex. The Hidden Power, another hit, doing another chip damage to the Toxapex. But of course, Recover going to bring it back to almost full. Another Hidden Power, doing another little bit of damage. So the Scald now is going to hit the Zebra. Do a little bit of chip damage with the Toxic slowly chipping it down. The switch into Nemo the Lantern. I love that name! Recover is going to bring it back to its full HP, with a Thunderbolt doing a lot of damage to the Toxapex, with the Toxic Poison being set up. You switch back into Amoonguss with a Thunderbolt, of course, being a resistant hit, doing a little bit of chip damage to Amoonguss. And they switch back from the Lantern into the Heracross, with a Toxic being set up. So many Toxic users on this team. That's pretty toxic. Switch into the Incineroar from the Amoonguss with an Earthquake, doing some pretty good damage to Incineroar. And they switch into the Surfex again. And then switch back into Amoonguss. Does Amoonguss have Regenerator? Am I just going crazy? Switch back into Toxapex though. The Brave Bird getting a crit and doing a lot of damage. Leaf Blade's going to hit another critical hit, but of course it's going to recover. Yeah, we know Toxapex. Toxapex can click recover. We knew that was coming.
Healing moves.
Another Brave Bird doing a little bit of chip damage. And an Iron Defense again to boost. Chat, can we just ban Toxapex next season? Switch back into the Mega Heracross with Recover, bringing it back to full HP. The Earthquake, of course, the 2 times defense is not going to do too much damage. Another Iron Defense being used. Another Earthquake doing a little bit more chip damage. And the Iron Defense bringing it back to 4 times its defense. Another Earthquake. A crit would have ended it, but a crit did not happen. Another Recover is going to bring it back to full HP. The Toxic's going to bring down the Heracross.
It's the point where I started raging. I don't blame you.
What? Makes him do a little bit more chip damage to Toxapex, but it won't be enough, of course, with the Scald taking down the Garganical. Nemo then comes back in. We swap back into the Amoonguss with a Thunderbolt, of course, being resisted hit. And they switch into the Scyther. A lot of damage from the South Rocks, though, with a Clear Smog doing some damage, and of course resetting, but there were no stats to reset. Wahaha. The Psycho Cut is going to do a little bit of damage to the Amoonguss, but the Toxic is going to be set up onto the Scyther. Swap it back into King Gambit with a Psycho Cut, of course, being an immune hit. Toxic is slowly going to start chipping away at the Scyther. The Sucker Punch, of course, is going to outspeed and take down the Scyther. The Zebra comes back in. And another Sucker Punch, of course, is going to outspeed because Sucker Punch is Sucker Punch. The Surfex comes back in, but of course Sucker Punch is going to Sucker Punch and take down the Surfex. With just Nemo left, poor Lantern. You can do it, Lantern. Never mind, switch into the Amoonguss with the Hydra Pump being another resisted hit. Dazzling Gleam is going to be another resistant hit onto the Amoonguss. The Amoonguss is going to go for the Clear Smog, do a little bit of chip damage. Of course, reset the stats, but it's not really going to matter. Toxic can slowly chip away at the Lantern as well. Thunderbolt is going to hit, not do much because it's a resistant hit, but the Clear Smog is going to take down the Lantern, with Marea City Valiants picking up the win. Good games to both of you. Good games.
That was awful.
Max, you played great.
I don't want to fight them.
Max, you played great. Despite the constant recovering of the other team, Marea City Valiants also played great as well. Good games to both of you.